Hi, this is Abby Wang.
This is Marissa Boatwright.
And we're with the Humanities and Communication Department. Thank you for being with us today, Claire.
Thank you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
We're doing well, thank you. So we wanted to start off by asking you a little bit about your experiences as a Humanities and Communications major.
Yeah, so I just graduated in 2019, May of 2019, and I graduated with a double major in communication and English. So during my time as a HAC person, I was on the HAC media team, and I helped out with lots of different events like our, is it the HAC Cup? The HAC Cup. And just anytime there was really an event that was HAC related, I was usually there. So it was really good experience overall.
So what did post-graduation look like for you? Like the job search process and all of that?
Yes, so it was definitely not a walk in the park at all. I was very drawn to the realm of higher education, and so I was applying for all kinds of jobs at universities like admission and financial aid and registrar's office and things like that. The chips really didn't fall that way when it came time for graduation, so I accepted a job as an associate underwriter at MedPro Group in Fort Wayne, and that is where I had a marketing internship my senior year of college. And so a position was open for associate underwriter, and underwriters are people that assess the risk of people that apply to be insureds at an insurance company. So as an associate underwriter, really what I did was more customer service stuff. I was answering the phone, I was helping people cancel their policies and helping people make changes to their policies and things like that, and it was just really not for me at all. Great company culture and everything, but I very much wanted to be in the higher education realm instead. I knew that I would feel a lot more fulfilled in a position like that. So when the job opened for Director of Student Leadership here at Trine, at my alma mater, I knew that there wasn't a better fit for me at all. So I knew I had to apply, and here I am, almost a year later.
So as the Director of Student Leadership, how does your job tie into your major?
So throughout college as a communication and English major, I think what I really honed my skills on was communicating, especially verbally. So I'm pretty much sending emails all day, every day, recruiting students to be volunteers for different organizations, helping incoming students transition well to Trine with orientation and with SOAR and things like that. So I think my work as a communication major really helped me to be a very clear communicator and a very clear, it also, I think, assisted me a lot with my event planning skills, so doing things like SOAR and Walk Into My Future and just things like that are very event-based. I think I have a good amount of practice with those things during my time in college as a communication and English major.
So you've kind of touched on this a little bit, but I think a lot of us college students, when we're going through undergrad, we have a lot of expectations for what life is going to be like, what we're going to do with our major after school. Can you tell us a little bit about your expectations as an undergrad, throughout undergrad, and then afterwards, and how they differed?
Sure. So I think when I first started college, I knew I wanted to do something where I could write every day, and I've definitely found that in my current role. I thought I would maybe want to go into healthcare and maybe want to do like hospital marketing and communications. I guess as time went on, I kind of changed my tune a little bit and got really drawn to the higher education setting. And so after college, I was very much hoping that I could get into the higher education setting, and I don't know if I expected to get into the higher education setting, but I did focus on that primarily and tried to get into that the best that I could.
What would you say is the biggest misconception about being a humanities and communication major? I know a lot of people are kind of like, oh, you're a comm major, what do you do with that? So kind of let us in on that.
I think especially being at a primarily engineering school, I think that there's kind of a misconception about the rigor of our courses. I think that though we're not doing math, there are problems like that every day. We are having to think very deeply and having to think very critically, and I think that the rigor of the courses can kind of be misconceived by some. I definitely pulled my fair share of all-nighters, even though I wasn't an engineer, wasn't a STEM major. Definitely wrote papers that were upwards of like 30 pages, and so I think just the rigor of the course is sometimes a misconception, and I think that there is a lot of work to be done in even the arts, and I feel like sometimes that might be something that people aren't super aware of.
So here might be kind of a difficult question. Can you tell us one of the most important but most difficult lessons that you've learned, whether as a student or as a faculty member?
think being a new professional has been one of the hardest challenges for me because I am surrounded by people who have a lot of seniority. And so I think just realizing that these people are not, though they are my superiors, you know, they are also very quickly becoming my peers and people that work very closely with me every day. So I think that just kind of transitioning from being at Trine as a student to at Trine as an employee has been kind of a difficult challenge for me, but I think as time has gone on, I've become increasingly comfortable with that and talk to these folks more as my peers rather than my superiors.
Yeah, I didn't even think about how that transition would have been. The humanities department, for those of you who don't know, is known for its very caring and welcoming professors. We have a great staff in the HAC department. So is there a specific class or professor that really did leave that lasting impression on you?
Yes, Amy Nichols will always be somebody who looms very largely in my heart. She was definitely a wonderful mentor, a wonderful advisor. She was definitely the one who sold me on wanting to be a double major in English and communication. She let me know all of the different opportunities that such a degree could offer, and she always just put so much care and attention into every single student that she met with, that she taught. I think that you couldn't leave a conversation with her and not feel like you were the most important in the world. And I very much enjoyed both her Shakespeare class and her creative writing class, and I know that her Shakespeare class was her favorite to teach, so I'm so glad I got to take that with her.
Okay, so you're talking to a senior in high school or a freshman HAC student here at Trine. What advice would you give them first and foremost?
I would say don't shy away from the classes that are very heavy in reading. I think that can be something that kind of deters people. Sometimes there's something that people are worried about when they're signing up for things like intro to literature even, or American literature, or things that are very much reading heavy. And I think that do explore your options when it comes to having to read a lot of content at once. I was one who was very into audiobooks, and I think that definitely helped me to get through a lot of the reading that I had to do, and I wouldn't have gotten as complete of a college experience if I had shied away from those classes that were very heavy in reading. I think those are probably my most effective and the ones that I learned the most during. So I would probably say to not shy away from those kind of difficult classes.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for being here today with us, Claire. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.